Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you're having a good one. So, there is so much going on. It's insane. It's nuts. So, BlackRock has a 500, I have to put on lotion, sorry, has a $500 million BUIDL fund, right? And apparently they made a pitch to Ethena. It's a tokenization project. And what the pitch is that give us $34 million to invest for you and we'll return yield. Because Athena's plan is to actually invest some of their reserve to actually gain yield. And I have to say, that is a smart idea. That is a very smart idea. And actually, having a relationship, that firm having a relationship with BlackRock would be very advantageous. Very. BlackRock is making moves in the crypto space, and that should have wiped out anybody's doubts as to the validity of crypto investment. Dead serious. If you're still doubting crypto, good luck with that. You're missing the boat. And I'm not here to convince you to invest in crypto. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to help people that are already investing in crypto or interested in investing in crypto on what news is going on. How can that affect their respective bags? And then hopefully give some classes on how to invest. That's awesome. And not necessarily how to invest, but what it all means, the foundations of crypto. And I'm looking at this move by BlackRock. That's a huge nod to Ethena. Love that idea, right? And it's also a huge nod. Last night's poll was, the market's down a little bit. What are you interested in? AI, RWA, RWA took off. RWA took off. Dead serious. Or decentralized infrastructure networks, DPINs. Decentralized physical infrastructure networks, DPINs. And by far, people were interested in RWA. And I have to say, I'm telling you, that's going to be a big space. But to have that as a big space, you also need the infrastructure. I mean, they all kind of play together, right? But yeah, that's actually big news. And that would be just tremendous. Because the Athena would then be able to say, our reserves are growing, right? They have a portion of their reserves that are growing by themselves. Hold these reserves over here because, we need to have a certain amount that's just safe. And if BlackRock actually builds on that $34 million pitch, if they get it and then they build on it, that's going to be huge. That means that BlackRock will be poised to go and pitch that to everybody. That's not a small thing. It's not a small thing. More players in the tokenization space. Libre, it's a tokenization company, and it's a joint venture. It's a joint venture between Brevan Howard's WebN group and Nomura's Laser Digital. Those are two big companies. Those are two big companies with a wealth of knowledge in the financial industry. That's big. We know what they want to know what they're doing. They're bringing tokenized assets to Solana, but not just Solana. Solana and Ethereum blockchain, Ethereum-based blockchains. Smart. That cross-chain opportunity, that's going to be big. That's absolutely going to be big because some people will be like, yeah, I'll go over to Solana. That's nice. It came out as a news article for Solana, but they were sure to mention, but Ethereum based blockchains as well. That's big for those blockchains. When those names start coming out, that's when I'm going to be like, wow. So like I said, the article called out Solana, but Solana's not the only one that they're launching it on. Something else that's involved is Hamilton Lane happens to have one of their funds coming out in that network as well. Wow. Not Solana, but through Libre. Wow. So Libre is the gateway to crypto, and they're offering these services to Hamilton Lane and others. That's what I mean. That's huge. That's the process. And I'm just sitting back and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. That's 2 articles back to back that are telling you that real world asset tokenization, that whole RWA space is blowing up. It's absolutely blowing up. We need to be paying attention to that. Smaller news, yeah, Mt. Gox is still moving some money to pay back creditors, and people are still freaking out over it. I don't know why. You want to know something that BlackRock is doing? I've said this before. BlackRock is using its other funds to buy into their blockchain, their Bitcoin spot ETF. They'll be doing the same for their Ethereum too. You want to know why? Because they want to give their other funds exposure. Remember how I explained that to you? Once you've created your ETF, that's the way it's got to run. If you want exposure to something, that ETF has to invest to have that exposure. That's exactly what BlackRock is doing. So they're eating the food that they cooked. They're in it with you. That's big. That is big and worth it in my eyes. So if you're somebody that's looking to get involved in crypto, have exposure to crypto, and not just BlackRock, any of the ETFs, if you're looking to have exposure in crypto, but don't have that foundational knowledge just yet, why not do an ETF? Why not? Until you get that foundational knowledge, and how do you get that? That's right, with my book. Crypto Foundations for Building Multi-Generational Wealth is available on Amazon. Now, until you actually feel comfortable, I do it. I would absolutely do it. If I was at that point where I was like, I knew this is something I had to do, but I wasn't quite sure about how to do it myself. Oh yeah, I would definitely buy into one of these funds. Absolutely. And supposedly, Bitwise is teasing that there are more on the way. Just saying. But that's not the big news. That is not the big news. Riot, Riot Platforms, the Bitcoin miner, they're actually buying out a smaller Kentucky-based rival. 92 mil, not a big deal. Easy peasy, boom, it'll be done. Still waiting to find out about BitFarms. They wanted to acquire BitFarms in a major fashion, and I think they're still fighting for it. So I'm still waiting for that. That was huge news. That's huge news. You want to know what's even bigger than that? Apparently, Kamala Harris's team has reached out to Mark Cuban to get his ideas on crypto. That's not small. She's already sending signals that, hey, I have an interest, and I have a legit interest. Ooh. Let's take it a step further. She wasn't done there. Her team is literally in talks to have her speak at the Bitcoin conference. Talk about overshadowing. Shadowing. That would be huge. If she actually spoke at the Bitcoin conference, I think that would be huge. You have the 2 other presidential candidates scheduled to speak there. And if she was to follow them and speak there as well, that kind of takes the whole thing off the table. Because one of those other presidential candidates was like, oh, Bitcoin's a scam. And all of a sudden he flipped the script, right? Sounds like a very Gary Gensler kind of move. To me, I'm just saying, to me. Gary Gensler was all positive about crypto and then flipped the script when he became secretary, the head of the SEC. And I'm just sitting here and I'm just going, I'm all for it. All for it. So you have some huge news that's going on. Huge news. Mark Cuban. Reach out to Mark Cuban to find out, talk to him about crypto policy. That is not an unscripted thing, I would say. That is a clear signal to the crypto space that says, hey, we have interest, we have positive interest. Because if they were negative, they could have spoken to 50 bazillion other people. If they were negative about it, they could have spoken to 50 bazillion other people that could have said something. Then you have one of the other candidates saying, oh, I never considered Jamie Dimon. But you dropped press releases about using his name. Oh, I think I flipped his idea on Bitcoin. I don't think that's going to happen. I wasn't talking about, I was never considering Larry Fink. Larry Fink, a real billionaire, head of BlackRock. Let me go become Treasury Secretary. Nah, that doesn't even sound right. That doesn't even sound right. How? He's firing on all pistons with BlackRock. I can't see how he would even consider. He probably chuckled. And I am here to chuckle along with him because I think that's funny. I want his butt to stay at BlackRock and keep doing what he's doing. That's what I want. Jamie Dimon, he's not a Bitcoin person. He's not a crypto person. Even though his company is involved, he's not. He's like, yeah, nah, I'm not with it. I'm not with the program. And I'm not mad at him about it. That's how he feels. I think he's wrong, but you're all right. It's okay to be wrong. I'm wrong a lot. That's all right. But you thought another dude like that was going to be... I couldn't see it. I could not see Jamie Dimon giving up his role right now to go take that job. Although he does have a retirement plan in place. I'm just saying. But I just find that to be very, very, very interesting. Because I just don't see that as a thing. You know what I mean? I just don't see that as a thing. So for me, I think there's a ton of momentum in a certain direction for Bitcoin, for crypto in general. I think that there are real deals that are happening right now. We're talking about real money. Ethena has millions of dollars in reserves, tens of millions in reserves, and they're looking to take a portion of it and make a move to earn some yield off of it. I'm sorry, but that's an outstanding idea. And then you have Libre with offering, services to other tokenized assets to get them on the blockchain and do all that good stuff, including a couple from Hamilton Lane. Excuse me? RWA is taking off. RWA is absolutely taking off. So that means you'd be able to buy, via Libre, some tokenized assets. That's going to become the norm. And what I told you, this bull run is not the same as any other bull run. And the coming bull runs will not be the same as this one. If there is another bull run, I use the term if on purpose, hear me out. If there is another bull run, it will be far more successful than this one. Why? Because of the level of adoption, the level of normalcy that crypto will enjoy. Already being accepted for DeFi. Look at Project Guardian. Already being leveraged for tokenization of assets. Out there on the blockchain, everybody can see it. Just saying, there's a lot of stuff that's going on. The billions of dollars. BlackRock alone has $22 billion in assets under management just for their crypto, their Bitcoin spot ETF. I'm sorry. So it's not going to be the same. The reason why I said if there's another bull run is because we could be entering, right now, a period where we're already normalizing crypto. We're only a hair away from more small businesses calling my company Rebel Reach to host their websites so that they can use crypto or accept crypto on their e-commerce websites. Because we do PayPal, credit card, and crypto. So that's huge. That's not a small thing. It is not a small thing. So I'm just sitting back and I'm saying to myself, we should be paying attention to this. We should absolutely be paying attention to this. So the next bull run, if it comes, I think we probably have one more bull run after this, and I don't think that will be called a bull run. I think it'll be called a new age. I know it sounds nuts. I know it sounds nuts. But I want you to contemplate this. The advent of credit cards was huge, right? That was a very big deal, right? Agreed. I agree with you. It was a big deal. But you want to know something that's really nuts? Something that's really nuts is the idea that this is larger than credit cards. You can do more with crypto than you can with credit cards. The average person cannot buy a house with a credit card. But you could buy a house with crypto. You can obtain tokenized assets from around the world with crypto. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. Big differences. These are very big differences between now and the past and now and the future. I think we are knocking on the door of a new era in finance. Straight up. Crypto is going to enter us into a new era in finance. Traditional finance won't even be called traditional finance anymore. It'll be called the old finance or something like that. Banks are now rethinking and rejigging what banks do and how banks do it. Jennifer Johnson over at Franklin Templeton gave you a hint. She said settlements is going to be a big space for crypto. The reduction in price, the increase in speed, the higher level of security, that's going to be a big space, a very big space. And there's a lot of money and a lot of time spent on settlements. The banking industry is definitely going through a metamorphosis. Some are still trying to figure it out. As crypto grows, we'll continue to figure it out. This is awesome. But you know what we should do? That's right. We should check the numbers. Let me flip that over for you guys. All right. So let me refresh this so we can get the latest and greatest data. So I haven't refreshed it in like 15, 20 minutes. I didn't see it blink, so I just want to make sure that we're all good. Get that nice little circle thing going. Oh, it's pretty slow. This is not my application. It's where we're reaching out to go get the data. But I don't think it's going to change all that much. At least I hope not. So even if we look at this right here, I have no idea what this APU is. Actually, what we should do. Can we, or did it freeze? Did my application freeze? Huh. Excel is having issues. It's still hanging, waiting for a response. But we can definitely still talk about what's going on here. APU, I have no idea what APU is. Cat in the dog's world, I have heard of that. It's only 11% off its all-time high, 16% up. Ethena, 13% up. Okay, so a certain range failed to... There you go. All right, we'll just click it again because I don't care. Golem, Superverse, BitTensor is another one, Tau, up 5%. You know my 5% rule. I'm not really interested in things that are only moving 5% because to me, that's almost lateral, right? I know it sounds nuts, but to me, it really is almost a lateral move. So I'm sitting back and I'm just saying to myself, okay, not bad. Not going to be totally angry about it, right? Lateral move, it's all right. But I do pay attention. I do make note of who's moving or what is moving, right? And the reason why is because the next move I see from them could add to that gain or loss or reduce that gain or loss. So I pay attention to it from that perspective. Then we have, let's see, who's here on the downside. 9% down for Celestia. They have, for them, they're down 69% from their all-time high. But they also have a 2.24x, X factor. That's actually interesting to me because I think they could do it. I think they could reacquire that high. And if they can reacquire that high, that would be a very big deal. That would be really cool. So Celeste, I'd look at EtherFi is down 11%. Okay. They have a 2.58x. And I'm kind of like, huh. Because I'm now looking at everybody's X factor. As I take in everything else, I'm looking at, well, how much would it take for you to get back to your all-time high? What's your X factor? Right? So that's what I'm paying attention to. Who else is here that I'm paying attention to? ZK Sync is down 8%. They only have a 0.8x from their all-time high. So are they going to make me money if I'm going to make a bet that they'll make their all-time high again? Are they going to make me all that much money? Not really. You know what I mean? I mean, that's money. You can't be upset about that. 0.8x, that's pretty good money. Let's see, Core Dimension, Lido is down 7%. They have a 3.19x factor. Beam, they're down 7%. They've got a 1.46x factor. Let's see. ASI or FET is down 6%. They're 63% off its all-time high, and they have a 1.71x factor. And I'm sitting here, and I'm kind of like, you know what? I'm not mad about that. I would actually get in. I actually did get in on the Artificial Superintelligence Alliance. I did get in on that. Let's take a look at the other boards. Fear and Greed Index is at 69. DeFi Llama total value locked is at $108 billion. Again, my happy number is above 125. So we're still a little bit low from that. But that's all right. We've had some downside, and I think we'll begin to see upside fairly soon, especially when the Bitcoin conference, when those speeches happen. I think that's when we're going to see a lot of energy come from that, a lot of positive energy coming from that. Right now, we've got Bitcoin at 66,503, which is above my blue band. Not bad. But again, we need to be above 69,355. I want to see us consolidate right there. We consolidate above 69,355. I think it'll be a very short leap to achieving another all-time high. That's honestly how I'm looking at it. I think if we consolidate right there, it'll be a shot up, not a stair step up. That's honestly how I think it'll happen. Let's see here. Who's good? You can see there are everybody's still below their all-time highs. There's still a lot of opportunities here. Cardano's just making me smile because, I bought low. I got in when there was that major dip. I got in heavy. I know, and it's a part of my DCA strategy. So is Bitcoin. So is ETH. So is Sol. So is XRP. Well, and not XRP. I hold a bag, but they gave up their slot for the DCA portion of my portfolio. Toncoin is in my DCA portion of my portfolio. BNB, I also like that. SHIB is another one. I'm totally in agreement on that one. Like I'm X factor high. I am X factor high on that. And the reason why I came up with that whole X factor strategy is because I had realized that I had been doing it in my head, calculating chances and that kind of stuff. I've been doing it in my head, and I was like, I don't have time to do it in my head. I've got to put it down on paper or something. And that's why I created that little piece. And then you have Bitcoin down at 65,980. That's painful. Painful if you don't have money to invest, because I'd be investing at that point. Absolutely. Anything below its all-time high, like a Bitcoin, like a Solana, almost any one of the coins in the top 25, I'd be like, yeah, it's pretty good buying opportunity. So I'd strengthen up my DCA strategy, maybe even drop a little bit, sprinkle a little bit of dry powder in there just to get a little bit extra. That's kind of what I'm looking at. Anyway, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor, hit the like button because it really helps us get the word out. Subscribe to the channel. And if you can, become a member, because there's so many things that are coming for memberships that you won't believe it. We've got things coming, and we expect to make announcements this week. This week, we expect to make a couple of announcements, and next week, we'll probably make a couple of more announcements. Because like I said, I think that the news coming out of the Bitcoin conference is going to suck all the oxygen out of the air. It's going to suck all the oxygen. So we've got a couple of announcements this week, and I think a couple of announcements next week. Anyway, subscribe. This is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.